Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. I'm your host, retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon, 27-year veteran of the NYPD. Folks, we did a lot of coverage last night, of course, on the Ruby Franke case, and I wake up this morning to see Nightline has done ABC Nightline has done a report on her double life, which we were trying to report, and I think we did a good job reporting on it last night. But this is a many-tiered investigation, and it couldn't survive, or she couldn't have survived in living the life she was living uh, with the Eight Passengers podcast, unless there was, as we refer to it, as an elephant in the room, someone allowing this to happen, someone uh, enabling her behavior. And I have a lot of folks that contact me and say, obviously, that is the whole Mormon way of life. The Church of the Latter-day Saints are protecting them. And in the case of Jody Hildebrandt, they were referring clients to her. And that is one of the biggest pieces of proof in regards to Jody Hildebrandt. I mean, that's just the picture I have on the screen. It's just the most horrific picture of her you could possibly have. I'm sure that wasn't one of her worst moments in her life, but she's created so many worse moments for many, many people that I'm not saying it gives me pleasure to look at that picture of someone suffering, but she made a lot of other people suffer. And here perhaps is a friendlier picture of her with Ruby Franke. But just apropos, and we spoke last night a lot about her husband, right? Her husband, Kevin Franke. And what is his exposure? What is his culpability in regards to this case? And there's the flyer from last night, the thumbnail, I should say, flyer thumbnail on the screen right now. And I'm one of those people that thinks that he has tremendous culpability in this, and that he potentially could be charged in this case. And many people are sort of giving him an out, and I'm not one of them. I think when the investigation digs deeper and deeper and deeper, potentially he could also be charged, or as I have suggested on other episodes, that they may offer him a deal. Here, there's a picture of Ruby Franke on screen with her children smiling there, and actually they're missing one. They're missing the eldest daughter, Shari, in that picture. So there's 5 out of the 6 kids. Here's a picture of Shari right there, and Shari now is being a cooperating witness against her mom. Now, these charges are just, we see all these smiles. We go through not the whole, but some of the history of the 8 passengers. And it's real, again, it's not to be redundant, but there is a lot of redundancy in this, is that this was going on for years. How did it survive? And there's, of course, Kevin Franke there, and who his attorney keeps insisting has no culpability in this. He's just this innocent man that didn't see his family for 14 months because he's such a stand-up guy. He didn't even try because his wife was so scary and threatened him, and Jody Hildebrandt was so scary and threatened him. And yeah, Jody Hildebrandt is scary. There's one of the victims in this picture I have on the screen right now. So yeah, this case is still unfolding, and Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke are still in jail right now. There hasn't even been a bail application yet, and that is indicative of many things. The attorneys want to digest all of the discovery material, but before they apply for a bail hearing. However, at the same time, realize that Jody Hildebrandt and Ruby Franke are sitting in jail. Not comfortable for anyone that lives in a $3.5 million home. Not comfortable for anyone who has been free their entire life. So there obviously has to be some really good reasons why the attorney hasn't filed for bail at this point. And I would imagine that this will be forthcoming quite soon. But if you were a client, would you want to be sitting in jail awaiting your attorney filing for you to get out on bail? I think not. I think you'd be pushing forward. So could this be a PR thing that they don't want them to get out because the public will just simply be enraged when these two are bailed out, which I believe will happen eventually. This is part of some of the Nightline report just last night on this case.
911, the address of your emergency.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help.
You have no power.
Our thanks to Juju. You can see the.
I'm really, if there's any, light at the end of this tunnel, it's that Jesse Hildebrandt survived this and is thriving now. And the people that did this to her are not. They're in jail. And there's so much more to this case that has to be looked into. And it was just so apropos that this little investigation was done last night, and our whole show last night, the theme was Ruby and Kevin Franke, more allegations. And again, Kevin Franke's attorney, Randy Kester, would have you believe that he's just an innocent person that had nothing to do with this. He's just a poor little guy that had absolutely nothing to do with this. It's just incredible. And this attorney expects, or he's trying to sell that to the public, because I think a lot of this will be in the public eye. A lot of this has always been in the public eye based on Ruby Franke's 8 Passengers podcast, So it's going to continue, and they're worried about the public relations part of this.
YouTuber accused now of child abuse. Police reports obtained by 2 News show how law enforcement and DCFS responded to Ruby Franke's Springville home on the day of her arrest.
And before going on breaking news, Daniel Woodruff spoke with a local defense attorney about some of the big revelations, and he breaks all this down for us tonight.
I think this is just, one more piece to the puzzle.
Defense attorney Sky Lazaro says these reports from Springville police shed more light on the child abuse case involving Ruby Franke.
It tends to, maybe lend some credibility that there was probably or potentially some problems there.
Franke of YouTube's 8 Passengers fame and her business partner Jody Hildebrandt were arrested in southern Utah August 31st after police say 2 of Franke's children were found hungry and hurt. That same day, Springville police found 2 of Franke's other children. A police report says they were in American Fork with a woman named Pam Bodger, who told officers Ruby had called her saying she had a family emergency and asked if her kids could stay with her. The 2 children wanted to stay with Bodger, police wrote, but were ultimately placed with Ruby's oldest daughter. I stopped by Pam Bodger's house here in American Fork to see if she had any comment about what's gone on, but nobody answered the door. Meanwhile, police reports also show Ruby's husband, Kevin, reported a burglary at his home, which police told him was just them serving a warrant looking for the kids. Kevin also wanted to file charges against his own daughter, police said, accusing her of stealing when she went into the house to get some items for her siblings. Police said they told Kevin there was no crime committed, but he was unsatisfied and threatened to sue. Daniel.
So, folks, that's as we peel back the onion, It's a cliche, but we keep finding more layers of bad things, you know. So, folks, that's our show for this morning. We're going to continue or keep following the Ruby Franke and the Jody Hildebrandt case as it advances through the courts. As hopefully the next thing will be a bail hearing, and whether or not either one of them receives bail, we would imagine if they do, it'll be quite high. So I'm Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff, Real Crime Stories. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
One episode just ain't enough.